Da 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 da. Hey guys, what's up? I literally just finished watching Star Wars Rise of Skywalker again. So I'm in a very Star Warsy mood. But I am so excited to be here with you all tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Who do we have joining us? We have Anthony, we have Eric, Issa, we have Ailey, Kylie, Jessica / Madison. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you guys tonight? Please tell me in the chat. How are you doing? How is week 1 of the month of May treating you so far? How is just everything? How's life? How you doing? How you doing? We can even go with our classic on a scale of 1 to 5. How are you doing? With 1 being SOS, send help, Sam, and 5 being life is fabulous. Let me know. Jackson, hello. Yes, that is very exciting. Bored, good, fine. I feel ya. Very cool, very cool. A 3, yep. I think a 3 it's solid. It's a solid rating, right in the middle. So yeah, I wanted to start out today because we're in the middle. We are about to start our guessing platform with R2D2. I actually do not have any snack in R2D2 today. We are not guessing R2D2, which I know is going to feel really wrong, and that's okay. We're just going to sit in it. We're going to sit in it today. Okay, we got 4.5s, 3s, 4s. Cool. So I want to tell you this week we're starting the new movie watch through. So on Sunday I will start taking guesses and putting names in a hat to win a new prize. But I wanted to officially announce here the 8, maybe 9. 1 is still a question mark for me. I'll decide as we go. But there are 8, maybe 9 movies that are going to be in this next Christian movie watch through. So I wanted to officially announce those to you right now. So you can prepare yourselves, because starting next week, it's going to happen. We're going to start it, and I'm very excited. So the movies are, need to move that out of the way. Facing the Giants, which is a classic. I'm so excited. Fireproof, another classic. Courageous, so good, so sad. To Save a Life, so good, so sad. Soul Surfer, legit movie. I think it's actually coming out on Netflix in the next few days, so easy watch for y'all. I Can Only Imagine, God's Not Dead, the first one. And I Am Not Ashamed. Those are our for sure 8 we will be watching. And number 9, which is a question mark for many reasons, is Christian Mingle, the movie. You heard it right. This movie used to be on Netflix, and that's where I first found it and I first watched it. But right now, you cannot find it anywhere on the internet, which is my biggest reason I'm kind of don't want to do it, is because I want you guys to be able to watch the movies that I'm reviewing. And I literally bought the only copy of Christian Mingle on DVD a month ago that I could find on the internet. Judge me, I don't care. It's a fun movie. So I might just do a bonus of that, but it won't be included in our ranking system. But those are the 8 movies that we'll be starting next week. I'm really stoked about it. So let's jump in, guys. Please, if you have your Bible, turn with me to Philippians chapter 1, verse 27. I know I said last week we were going to be in Philippians 2. I misspoke. We're not done yet. We got one last paragraph in Philippians 1. And I just encourage you to remember, if you haven't, maybe go and read back through the beginning of chapter 1 after this, so that you can kind of have a refresher of how it all works together. But I just want to read this paragraph to you, the ending of chapter 1, and let's chat about it. So it's Philippians 1, verse 27. Let your manner of life be worthy of the gospel of Christ, so that whether I come and see you or am absent, I may hear from you that you are standing firm in one spirit, with one mind, striving side by side for the faith of the gospel, and not frightened in anything by your opponents. This is a clear sign to them of their destruction, but of yourself, not of their of their destruction, but of your salvation, and that from God. For it has been granted to you for the sake of Christ, you should not only believe in him, but also suffer for his sake, engaged in the same conflict that you saw I had, and now hear that I still have. So this passage is good. It just wraps stuff up really well from the rest of chapter 1, which really remember, Paul is really trying to hone in on this idea of kind of the contrast between either moving forward, I will continue to live, continue to share the gospel, or I will be executed and my time on this earth will be done. And just that is like the idea. I see you in the chat, ladies. I will 100%. But these two different courses moving forward, my life could go this way, my life could go that way. And I love this because he's like, whatever it is, this is what I want for you. Because back in the beginning, remember, it started with his prayer for the Philippians of what he hoped for them. And we're coming back to that at the end of this chapter of my hope for you is that you will stand firm, that you have one faith in one spirit and one God, and that you will continue to push forward. You will continue to stand firm in that, and that God will be glorified and your faith will increase. But I love in verse 30, it also talks about how 29 and 30 talks about suffering for his sake and conflict. And I just think it's a good reminder always to remember, as we're reminded also in the beginning of the book of James, that just because we follow Jesus does not mean life will be easy. I think that's often a misconception. And I think some people, sadly, also preach this idea, come accept Jesus and life will be good and life will be easy. It's that's not true. We are going to face hardships, we will. And there are most likely, if you are living for Jesus, right, you're going to face more hardships specifically because of that. There's going to be people who mock you for your faith, who don't understand. You're going to be at crossroads where the world tells you to go one way, and you're like, well, because of what God has told me, I need to go this way. And that is a challenge. Some of us, it's going to be smaller, some bigger. But following Jesus doesn't mean our life is free from challenge and free from difficulties. It, in fact, guarantees that it's life will always be full of it. But for sure, when you're trying to live in a world that does not know God for God, there will be challenges and there will be difficulties. And those challenges and those difficulties do not take away from who God is. Rather, it's like a testament. When we go through those things and we stay strong and we stay focused on God, it is a testament to people of how good God is, of how strong our faith in him is. And so I just love that. And I just wanted to throw that out there. Guys, I'm in a good mood today. I asked you to tell me on a scale of 1 to 5 how you're doing. Right now, I'm feeling like a 4, maybe a 4.5. I'm just happy today. It's a good day. I've got some fun stuff coming up. Will be turning 24 on Saturday, so that's fun. Yeah, if any of the leaders are watching this right now, they're probably chuckling, calling me a baby, and I don't even care. I am what I am. But it's just one of those things where sometimes in quarantine, it's a roller coaster, right? Give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're like, yeah, I've experienced the emotional roller coaster in quarantine. Some days it's real good, some days it's not. Some days it's middle. Some days I'm just I'm bored and it's why does this roller coaster not move anywhere? You're just this, right? And so I think it's important on the days where we are feeling up that we really latch onto it, that we really enjoy it and we cling to that. Because on the days when we're going down, if we don't treasure the ups, the downs will feel heavier and harder, and they might even be even further down if we're not allowing ourselves to, one, cling to the good days, but also try to figure out, I think this is important, I've been working on this a lot this week, of what makes a good day a good day. What happens on the good days that doesn't happen on the bad days. What creates the ups in the roller coaster, right? And intentionally seeking those out, especially when you feel yourself going into a downside. Okay, what caused my last upswing? Okay, how can I imitate that so I can stay more level? And that's my hope for you guys. So that would be my challenge for you today, is to go think of how can I be more up? Because today I'm feeling great, and I'm taking time to definitely sit and be like, all right, so what's so good about today? why am I feeling so good? Like, I don't want to question feeling good, but I want to know why so that I can continue to repeat the practices that are creating good days. I'm seeing lots of thumbs up. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Y'all are lovely humans. I'm stoked about it myself. So, that being said, I promised you guys, because last week we had to cut it off, but I promised you guys that we would talk about Full House and about Harry Potter. And yes, that is the complete collection of both Full House and Harry Potter that I literally just walked to my shelf and grabbed right before this happened because I'm a nerd that way. So, which one do you want to talk about first? Put it in the comments. Are we talking Harry Potter? Are we talking Full House? Lots of thoughts. While you guys type that, I will be typing out the movies that we are going on the list that you asked me for. We were made to be courageous. We were made to lead the way. I'm probably going to misspell something because I failed every spelling bee in school. I never got 100% on spelling bees or spelling tests growing up. I, in fact, vividly remember, guys, the last spelling test I ever took in my life. It was 8th grade. And I remember the feeling of turning it in and her being like, that's your last spelling test of the year. I'm like, did they do that in 9th grade? And she's like, no. I'm like, so that was my last spelling test of my life? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, I was so excited. I was really stoked because I am not good at spelling. It's not good. I can only imagine. So I've seen all of the movies on this list except for I Can Only Imagine. So I think that's going to be a special one. Also, on some of these, I think I'm going to try to do the Netflix watch party thing you can do. I'm going to try to do those for the ones that are on Netflix so we can potentially watch these movies together. David and Goliath, the cartoon. I have not seen David and Goliath, the cartoon. No. I never even heard of Davy and Goliath. I've never heard of that cartoon. Has anybody else heard of that cartoon, David and Goliath? I watched a lot of VeggieTales cartoons. I watched the David and Goliath VeggieTales. So, yeah. I don't know besides that. Man. Yeah. All right. So let me know in the chat if you have seen Full or Fuller House or both. I want to know. Full House, Fuller House, both. Personally, both. I grew up watching Full House reruns on Nick at Night and clearly fell in love because I bought the box set of the complete series that looks like their house. And then I remember in college when Fuller House came out, I freaked out because I was such a Full House fan. I love Candace Cameron Bure as a person. For those of you who don't know, Candace Cameron Bure plays DJ Tanner. She was Candace Cameron in the original. Then she got married and added Bure. I love her. She loves Jesus, and she is vocal about that. And anyone in Hollywood who loves Jesus, consistently lives for him, and expresses that is a solid human being in my book. She used to co-host a talk show called The View, which had basically 4 to 6 women sitting around a table discussing events and yada, yada, yada. Not a great show, but they would make sure they had a range of political and ideological viewpoints. And Candace Cameron was on there for a while. And I would occasionally watch episodes, and I just really loved how she stood for her values, and she spoke up for stuff like waiting until you're married to have sex, and how that just speaking very positively about that, especially when all of her hosts were promoting not that lifestyle. She spoke very strongly about how her faith has played a role in her life, how having her marriage be built on God has made the marriage be long lasting and strong, how sharing different ways that she's raised her kids in the Lord, and then seeing her children are now like all adults, and that's really cool. So sorry, I'm fangirling about Candace Cameron, but I think she's wonderful. So I was like, I love Candace Cameron. I love Full House. Give me an adult Candace Cameron, an adult Full House, and you got Fuller House, and I was happy. So some of you have not seen it at all. That's okay. That's totally fine. That's cool. You never seen it. That's cool. All right, Kylie, you've seen it. Mads has seen Full House. Okay, very cool. So here's what I'm going to break down for you guys. And then even if you've seen it or not, I want you to give me some feedback. So the idea of Full House. I have visuals. This is great. So this guy, his name is Danny Tanner, and he has 3 daughters, DJ, Dana Jo, Stephanie, and Michelle. And his wife dies in a drunk driving incident. She gets killed by a drunk driver. And so when that happens, his brother-in-law, Jesse, the beautiful John Stamos, and his best friend, Joey, move into the house to help him raise his daughters. And all of this ensues. It's lovely. So my question to you is, if you were an adult and you found yourself in that situation, having to raise your children by yourself, would you want your sibling or your best friend to move into the house to help you? You don't get to do both. In both shows, they do both. They have the sibling and the best friend. Fuller House follows a very similar premise where DJ is a grown woman with 3 children of similar ages. They're all boys, though, because they flipped the script. And then her younger sister, Stephanie, and her best friend, Kimmy, sadly not pictured on the box, moves in to help her. So what would you choose? Would you choose your sibling or your best friend? These are the questions. I know my best friends and I have at various points in our lives joked about, if we never, if neither of us marry, we're just going to end up living in houses next to each other, raising our dogs, and maybe I was like, and I'll adopt a kid and you can be the aunt and help me raise the child. Of course, my friends are all now married, so that fell apart, but it's cool. But I remember just talking that through with my friends, just this hypothetical scenario. Your sister and you, Kylie, I feel like you and your sister got along before quarantine. Maybe quarantine has changed this. Best friend. That's a good answer, Mads. I think Alexa's definitely too young to tell. That'd be like asking first season DJ if she would want Michelle to help her raise her children. Your best friend. Okay, so we're seeing lots of the best friend. I get that. I also think it'd be cool to do it with a sibling. What I think is super fascinating, though, and none of y'all can relate to this, and that's totally fine. But that's not his brother. That is his brother-in-law. So that is his late wife's brother, which I think is just a whole other interesting dynamic. It's fascinating. It's fascinating. A whole other level. I get that. Anybody else have somebody in their family that they're quarantined with that before this you were like, we're fine, and now you're like, it's not fine. It is not fine anymore. I can't even imagine what it would have been like to be quarantined with my brother when we were both in high school or junior high. Ooh, that's a scary thought. I love my brother to death. We fought horribly until we both hit about age 20. And then we were like, oh, you're cool. Let's not fight anymore. It happens. Yeah. Madison would have Delilah be her kid raising cohort. I love it. Ailey, your dog is getting on your nerves. Oh, treasure your dog. Some of us don't get dogs. Treasure that dog. But I can imagine. That it's crazy because we've been in this for 7, 8 weeks. Not official stay-at-home order, but we've been in that space of being at home all the time, working from home, school from home for about, I think, 8 weeks now. It's a whole new world. A whole new world. I love it. Okay, guys, so what have you been doing this week? What has been your thing? Are you one of the people that's causing there to be no puzzles in the stores? I went to the store today to get a puzzle, and there was nothing. And then I went to another store to get a puzzle, and there was nothing. Is it you guys? Who here's taken puzzles from me? Okay, I like my puzzles. Yeah, I'm very sad. Are you puzzling? Are you watching movies? Are you watching TV? Are you reading books? What books are you reading? I know we talked a little bit about that last week, but a lot of reading is done in 7 days of quarantine. So I want to know Minecraft and YouTube. Working and playing music. Ordered some books. Love it. That's cool. Anthony, are you working from home or are you working on like home DIY projects? Built a fort and upgraded it 3 times? Kylie, send me pictures. That's amazing. That is amazing. Built a fort? You're making me feel like I should go build a fort. Do I have the materials to build a fort? A fort would be cool. A fort could be cool. I love it. You guys are on a call right now while watching this live stream. That is next level. And I just applaud you. I applaud it. It was fabulous. Okay, working with your grandpa. That's cool. That's next level friendship. And I love it. My friend called me last night. She was visiting her mom, and she lives about 3 hours away from her mom. And she called me when she was like getting in the car just to chat for a little while. And we ended up talking for 3 hours, the entire car ride. It was lovely. So I understand like that next level friend communication happening right now. I get it. I'm with you. It's lovely. Man. Guys, who here has seen the new Star Wars trilogy? Like all 3 of them. I want to know Star Wars situation. Are we Star Wars watchers? Are we not Star Wars watchers? What is it? What's up? What's your Star Wars situation? When I was singing the Star Wars music when this started, were you like, what in the world is happening? Or were you like, my girl, like who are you? Okay. Ailey has not. Mads has seen a couple. Okay. So when I was like an infant, my father started watching the original trilogy with me. And then the trilogy that came out before y'all were born, that one I went and saw every single one in the theaters. I remember my dad still talks about how he took me to see episode 1, The Phantom Menace, and he was like, it was so annoying. You had to pee like 4 times in that movie. And I took you to the theater just to take you to the bathroom. And I'm like, I was 4, Dad. So that happened. And then my mom took me to see the second one in theaters. I can't remember if my mom or my dad took me to see the third one in theaters, but I definitely saw all 3 in theaters. So I've seen the prequel trilogy and the sequel trilogy all in theaters. Super into it. You have a bear that plays the theme song? That's great. You've not seen anything to do with Star Wars. You've not seen Wait, Kylie, why do you have a bear that plays the theme song if you have not seen Star Wars? Confused. Please clarify. You have seen the original trilogy. AJ, high five through the screen. Solid. The first 7, okay. And then you got addicted. Wait, the first 7 Star Wars. So where's the other 2? What have you not seen the other 2? I'm confuzzled. I watched some, but you didn't. Ailey! You didn't like them? Explain. I don't get that. I love you. I'm confused. Yes, Build-A-Bear. I have. My friends and I, when we graduated college, we went and made Build-A-Bears together because that's how we roll. And I got the Beast from Beauty and the Beast as like the Build-A-Bear. And then I gave him a hoodie that says Chewie is my co-pilot because the Beast and Chewie look similar and Star Wars. Yeah, I get that. Quarantine, hey, stop. That's okay. I got you. I got you. So you got 2 more. And are you waiting till quarantine's over so you can watch them with your grandpa? Or are you going to just watch them anyway? Eric, you instantly hate what? Ailey, Eric, you guys are gonna send me to the hospital. I'm gonna go into cardiac arrest. I don't understand. Just kidding. Doesn't mean that much to me. I'm just in shock. I'm in shock. I'm curious what movie you guys started. Ailey, which ones have you seen? Eric, which one did you start? I need to know. Because that changes things. Because if you start with Phantom Menace, episode 1, I can understand. I get it. Okay, I get it. I love it, but I get it. But if you started with 4, like, if you started with anything besides 1 or 4, you're just wrong and need to go and start with 4. Force Awakens. See, that makes sense. If you haven't seen the other 6, The Force Awakens will be so confusing. Grace. You need to go back. Let me tell you guys, I have a very, I'm very serious about the way that I think you should watch Star Wars, the order. It's highly debated, but here's the order that you should watch Star Wars. It is number 4. All right? No. Yes, number 4, the original A New Hope. Number 2, Emperor Strikes Back. It's 5. Then 5, Emperor Strikes Back. Pause, then go and watch Episode 1, Phantom Menace, Episode 2, Clone Wars, Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, and then you watch 6, which is the Jedi. Oh gosh, why can't I remember it? What's number 6? Return of the Jedi. Found it. It was deep in the back. Return of the Jedi, and then Force Awakens, Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. That's the reason. The first word, bruh. Give it another chance. But that method is called the machete method because you cut right into the middle of the original trilogy and insert the prequels. And there is a very important reasoning behind it, but some of you have not seen these movies, so I'm not spoiling them. And to explain it, I would have to spoil. Just trust me on this one. I grew up on Star Wars. I know what I'm doing. But yeah, that's my stuff. All right, guys. That is all I have for you tonight. I will see you on Sunday, where we actually will be diving into Philippians 2. I'm really excited about that. On Sunday, I'll also be drawing the name for the first movie that I will be watching in the collection. And yeah, it's going to be great. Well, as always, I love you guys. God loves you more, and I will see you on Sunday. Bye.